Welcome back to another video, my friend. I'm Blake, and you're you, and this is Jeskai, Agent of Treachery, Transmogrify, but really a sort of a homebrew and showing you some cards you can build around if you don't have all the rares for a full list. So let's start breaking down this deck. 4 copies of Agent of Treachery is the main win con in the deck. Now there are also a couple of ways that we can make this happen. We're doing a split between 2 Transmogrify, which says exile target creature. That creature's controller reveals cards from the top of their library until they reveal a creature card. That player puts that card onto the battlefield, then shuffles the rest into their library. Now, Agent of Treachery, which is a 7-drop steal 1 permanently, is the main way we do it, and the way we get this to work is that Agent of Treachery is the only creature in the deck. But we have a lot of ways to make tokens, and so Transmogrify is going to be planned to hit one of our own tokens, and so that it automatically flips over an Agent of Treachery to getting us a 4-mana agent for free. Now, I only have 2 copies of this, so we're also running 2 copies of Fires of Invention, because this is another way to get out a couple agents and things like that. So, now let's go over cards that can make us tokens. 4 copies of Shark Typhoon, which also happens to pair very nicely with Fires of Invention to be able to play the enchantment side, but this can make us shark tokens. We have 1 Outlaws Merriment, which at the beginning of each upkeep creates a token out of 1 random chosen of these 3 types it can make. We also have, let's see, 2 Fable of the Mirror Breaker. We're all familiar with this card. It's amazing, and it does good things. Also, Dovin Grand Arbiter, one I'm trying out in this list and like it quite a lot. You can play him for 3. He has a -1 that we used most often when he plays, created 1/1 colorless Thopter, or you can +1 him until end of turn. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, put a loyalty counter on Dovin, allowing you to get him some pretty high loyalty sometimes, and he actually is able to ult occasionally, which his ult is -7. Look at the top 10 cards of your library, put 3 of them into your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. So it's like a mega Memory Deluge. Also, 3 Raven's Warning can also starts off making us a 1/1 bird, and then also is card draw on the second iteration of it. Now we also, last but not least, for token creation, are running 4 Birth of Meletis. It gets us a plains into hand, which helps us fix our draw, getting into 4 or 6 mana or 7 mana, which are the big points. And then also after that, we have 1 Mila, which the Luca side counts as another Transmogrify. I do have 1 of these, and so that works out quite nicely. And then rounding out the deck with just some other nice pieces that I find kind of fill out the needs. 1 Elspeth Conquers Death for removal. 1 Reconstruct History, which you might not be familiar with. This is for card draw. Return up to 1 artifact, up to 1 enchantment, up to 1 instant, up to 1 sorcery, and up to 1 planeswalker card from your graveyard to our hand. So it's everything except a creature, and then we exile this. We are playing a lot of those kinds of spells. We can get the sorcery Transmogrify. We can get our instants, which are Scorching Dragonfire and March of Otherworldly Light. And then also the cards I have not talked about are, I think we have 4 Glass Caskets for those early game cards that are causing us trouble to get us into our late game deck here. And then 1 Unlicensed Hearse just to deal with those pesky graveyard decks. Running 26 lands to really make sure we hit all of our curve as often as possible, and that is how the deck goes. So it really works well. It looks like kind of a random pile, but I've spent a lot of time tweaking it, and it really does a lot of work. Now, before we jump in and play this deck on the ladder, I do have 1 small request. I'm trying to grow this channel to 500 subscribers so that I can open up that community tab. So if you're willing to help me out, if at any point you find this deck interesting, we only play Explorer games here on the channel, so if that is some content you are interested in and you like what you see, please consider hitting that subscribe button. So without further ado, let's jump into some games with the Fires of Treachery. Okay, this looks like a nice hand. We have a little interaction. Got some Grave Hate if we happen to see something like a Greasefang. We've got the early Raven's Warning for that turn 4 card draw. I'm feeling pretty good about this. This is also, they're going to get rid of my Hearse because it's a graveyard deck. Are you serious? My 1 Unlicensed Hearse has to go. Luckily, Glass Casket will put in work here. Okay, they go with the Raven's Warning. That definitely seems like a mistake to me because I feel like they have to be a graveyard deck, but they might be getting ready to double Thought Seize me. Feels like that happens to me all the time. Okay, this early in the game, we're going to discard an agent. We've got ways to bring it back anyway. Lovely. We'll put down this Glacial Fortress. Put down our Hearse. Hope for the best. We'll wait and do that on the end of their turn. And we'll definitely get rid of that Croxo. So that's already a nice start. What do we see on turn 3? Another Croxa, wow. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get rid of their other Croxa. And Thought Seize, because why not? Perfect. And we are in a pretty awkward spot here. I do have the option of discarding the Glass Casket and then bringing it back with Reconstruct History on turn 4. They don't have anything to play right now. I kind of like that play. Once again, risky, but I live life on the edge, you know. Put down the coast and say good luck. Okay, perfect. Is it worth it to bring back these 2 cards? Probably. Let's go ahead and do that. Bring back that, and then you get everything but a creature. So you can't bring back Agent with this, but I think it's a good draw 2 useful spells here. I think that'll get the job done for us. Glass Casket will probably be quite nice in this. Yep, it'll be able to hit the Bone Crusher if we need it to. So that's pretty good. Sure. Go right ahead. Yeah, I feel like we're just playing slow and steady here. We'll get this with the Bone Crusher. Or we'll get the Bone Crusher here. They could have a Deadly Dispute. They do not. Okay, wonderful. Let's keep going. They cannot turn on that Croxa just yet. Graveyard Trespasser, that's fine. They get to get rid of our Agent, which is pretty sad. That is pretty sad. I think I like holding on to Shark Typhoon until we get another land, make it a 3/3 to block and kill the Trespasser, but we do need to play a spell to keep it from flipping, so that's pretty annoying. It's pretty sad. The Raven's Warning is probably not terrible here. Or, ooh, I think I have a better play. How many cards have we exiled with this thing? 3. So this will be a 3/3. That's interesting. Okay, we're gonna do this. I need my Unlicensed Hearse to get big enough to hit the Trespasser. And then we can actually use even a 2/2 Shark to turn on the Hearse, which I think is good. But right now we just need to draw some cards. We're at a high enough life total, we can play a little bit. We've got a little wiggle room. They're not putting on too much pressure. We just need to draw into some threats. That's pretty sad, but it puts another card in their graveyard, which makes Hearse big enough to do some stuff. That's another card in their graveyard, so that's excellent. So now this can be a 5/5 and block even the Daybreak side, so that's really good for us. That's everything I need. So we get to kill the Trespasser on their next turn, kind of without them really knowing it, so that's great. But we have to keep up Shark Typhoon, and we have to let them transform, but that's okay. We're going to get a neat play here. This is going to be a pretty sweet play, unless they just kill the Shark, which is pretty sad. But I think we get to turn on Hearse either way. So we make this a 2/2. That gets to come down. And even if they respond to that, we get to crew 2, tapping this guy. Now they could Fatal Push it. And then we resolve this, let them get that Shark Typhoon. Fatal Push it, they do. Sad day. There's nothing to hit here, is there? Cancel. Oh, that is so sad. We had such a good play. It did a lot of work, though. Well, this next turn we can Fires into Birth. Are any of these going to bring us back? This is not bad. Do we have enough to survive? We certainly Fires first. And then I guess this is going to gain us life eventually and give us a nice 0/4 blocker. So I guess let's do this. 3, they deal 7 this turn. No, they deal 3, 4, 5. We can block the Harvester. It's tough. Ooh. We're in a tough spot here, team. Man, I'm so sad. This deck just dominated whenever I was playing by myself. Like, it was so many wins, and then all of a sudden it can't do anything. It's a tragedy. Okay, down to 3. We'll be able to block this next turn with the wall. So that's good. We'll play the Warning. And I don't think Luca's going to be able to get anything out of the graveyard with the Trespasser, so we're just going to get a blocker out. We're getting a nice big fat blocker out. We can actually double block the Trespasser, which I would be willing to do at this point. Right? Is that a play we make? That's probably a play we make. Then they just have nothing on board. I think I'm willing to do that. We're putting ourselves at a big risk of the kill spell, but last card in hand, we're going to make them have it. Amazing. Love it. Okay, we're a land away from actually getting that down as a real thing, but I think I just want to draw stuff right now. We just want to draw spells. Okay, that's funny. We're going to hold right here. I think we're going to come back. We just got to draw 2 lands and we get to come back. And they are top decking. Ooh, yes. Okay, great. And then we are going to put an Idyllic Tutor on top because it pairs well with the Shark Typhoon coming down. No, no, no. Don't cycle. Cancel that cycle. We're going to pay this for 0. We're kind of in a decent spot. If we draw a land, we get to play a double agent next turn. If we, well, we're going to draw Idyllic whatever, so that's fine. We're going to draw the Tutor, which lets us go get a bunch of good options. We can even get another Shark Typhoon if we want. Okay, so we get to do this, which is great, and then this is a 3-drop. So I might want a Merriment here. Merriment really digs you back. Yeah, we're going to go for an Outlaws Merriment. This just starts pumping out creatures. So this is going to do a lot of work too. And we got the game because we just had too much value, too much sustainability. That was amazing. All right, let's keep going. Okay, I think this is a perfectly acceptable start. We see all our colors. 4 lands is nice. Hitting that Fires early will feel quite good. Would love to draw just maybe an early Glass Casket here just to slow things down a little bit. But overall, I'm feeling pretty good about this hand. Turn 3, probably are going to want to go into Fable over the Arbiter because that second phase, being able to discard some cards and draw through some options, could be very nice. But there's always a small chance. We just really need a blocker of some kind, and so Dovin could come down turn 3. But right now, just based on the opener, I think my plan will be to play Fable on 3, Fires on 4, and then hopefully follow up the Fire with something nice. So let's see if our opponent is willing to play. If they take too long, I'll just make a little cut. Sometimes Arena seems to be really slow these days. Okay, it looks like we will finally get to go first, so let's go ahead and get our tap land down so we save ourselves some lives and see if Childe Orlando DT is willing to actually make some plays here or not. Okay, they are here, so that is fine. Unless you control 2, so that's fine. We'll go ahead and just make them worry about the counter spell. We'll at least make them think about the disruption or the make disappear. Not worried about it at all. Playing right into that. That's fine. We're going to get a turn 4 Fires down, and would love, absolutely love to draw into a Transmogrify. The unfortunate part about only having the 2 copies, because I don't have the full set, you can build probably a more efficient, solid deck with 4 copies, of course. But this is a little way to work around it, and sometimes you got to do that on the arena whenever you are a budget player like myself. So, they are probably playing Greasefang, I would assume. Now, that is very sad. They're going to only be able to discard Fires, which is a great play for them. I was very much hoping to play that Fires. But we will be alright. We'll be okay. We're going to probably get to make a Treasure Fatal Push. Really need to look for some instant speed interaction or some Grave Hate. Unlicensed Hearse might be extremely important in this matchup because, like I said, it's probably Esper Greasefang. Could be just a mid-rangey deck, but it's definitely feeling like Esper Greasefang to me. Okay. It's early enough. I think we dump the Agent and hold on to everything else. Maybe dump 1 land. We'll probably hit lands 5. Our next land in the next couple draws. So we have double blue, double white, and double red. So none of these particularly matter. So let's see if we can draw some interaction. I don't hate seeing this Shark Typhoon. So the question is, so if we play Dovin, we could at least make a target for Transmogrify. I think that feels like the way to go. And then we'll put a little pressure on them to attack Dovin, which is fine. So we don't actually need to keep Dovin around. He's kind of more of just a big meat shield more than anything else. While we dig for some interaction here. Another Shredder. That could be a problem. Hopefully they don't have a second 1-mana spell here. They're probably going to have a 2-mana spell here, certainly. Okay, there we see some discard. We're still... I don't believe they've put any big vehicles. Okay, there is the Sky Sovereign. So certainly playing Greasefang. We really now really need to draw some interaction. Most of this deck's interaction is slower, which is a weakness and could probably be impacted. So we're going to let them have that because we would rather have the Transmogrify target, certainly. Glass Casket is perfect. That is exactly the kind of thing we're looking for. So we are going to get Glass Casket, the bigger one, and then we're going to plan to cycle this Shark Typhoon because as long as we hit our 6th land, Luca is another Transmogrify on the other side. So I'm feeling pretty decent here. We can steal this Ledger Shredder. If they do put down a Greasefang, that'll be sad, but I think we could handle a Greasefang at this point, especially since all they have out is a Sky Sovereign. So that doesn't feel too bad to me. And they also haven't shown us just yet that they have the Greasefang ready to go. They still could. They're saving 3 mana, so it could be Greasefang. But they also might be afraid. Okay, so they get this off, but I still kind of think that's fine because they're just going to bring in Sky Sovereign, which isn't nearly as good as Parhelion. And sadly, they hit that Parhelion. All right, we'll still try to bring it back, but I don't really envision how we're able to win here. We can block one of the Angels, I suppose, or the Parhelion. Uh-oh. We have a freeze. This could be bad, team. I'll let you know what happens. Okay, we did jump back in. We had just a little issue, but we're back. Ooh, and the Transmogrify. That could be interesting. That could certainly help. So they bring back... Ooh, they actually choose Sky Sovereign. I think that's a huge mistake. I think that is a huge mistake. Sky Sovereign does not put in nearly as much work as a Parhelion getting those Angels out. Do I just take 6 here? I don't really need both of these tokens, though. Ooh, it gets to deal one. Okay, I can't block because I need to keep 1 token alive. So they are going to get to deal a bunch of damage because of that. But we're going to get to steal Greasefang and make them draw another one, which I think is pretty awesome. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I just play Luca because it's the more expensive play, and there's nothing else really to do.
I lead the vicious to battle.
Ooh, I misunderstood how Luca worked. But do I have an agent in the graveyard? I do. That's quite lucky. Okay, so we're going to steal Greasefang and make them draw another one. And then sure, we'll go ahead and attack with this, because why not? And then next upkeep, we have to exile this guy, which is sad, but that's okay. We did the thing we need to do. We put a lot of pressure on, making them do something crazy. They could, like, play Sky Sovereign, kill their own Greasefangs, tap out, and then they probably have some reanimate spell somewhere. But we're in a pretty decent spot. I mean, they also could just get Luca, which wouldn't be a terrible idea. And we don't have another target here. So that was an interesting choice to hit that. I guess they can do it again. Okay, they take out Luca. That makes a lot of sense to me. And then I'm guessing... Okay. So this is getting pretty interesting. We Transmogrify Greasefang for sure. And it's going to exile it, which is nice. So they don't go back to their graveyard. So that's actually fantastic. Now we do have an interesting decision. If we don't take Ledger Shredder, it could just beat us alone. If they play... Probably their only creature that can turn this on is a Greasefang. So I don't think taking this really helps us that much. And it's crew 3, so our agent can't turn it on. And they're at just a few too many lands that I don't think it's worth it to take the land. So I think we take Ledger Shredder here and hope that that is actually going to push us super far ahead. Now, we are top decking and they have a full mitt, so this is a pretty uncomfortable spot where we're not super likely to win, especially with all this card draw. They could just play another Greasefang right here and win with the Parhelion. But I think we've given ourselves an okay chance. This is a pretty bad matchup considering how slow the deck's interaction is. And there they get it, so let's go ahead and move on to our next game. Well done. Okay, I think this is a pretty solid opener. Not much interaction, but that's okay. We can cycle the Shark Typhoon early. We have all our colors. I think that's perfectly acceptable for us to keep this. Going up against our opponent, Star Fox. Good luck to you, Star Fox. Let's go ahead and put down this Hallowed Fountain. Save ourselves the life. We'll get the Sulfur Falls down next turn, have all of our colors, and we will be ready to go. Okay, they're playing Revitalize, so they could be playing the Angel Collected Company deck. Or they could just be playing straight mono-white life gain, which is quite a good budget deck. We're going to go ahead and do our own little card draw here, X0, just looking for early game tokens to get them on the field. Could have waited turn 3, but that felt like a waste, and it did pay off because this Raven's Warning is going to feel pretty good for us. We get our bird. Next turn, we hopefully get to draw, depending on what they drop down here. They probably have a lot of angels when you see those life gain cards, but they could just have Pride Mates and Celestial Unicorns. We will see. We will certainly see. But Johnny. +1, you gain life equal to the number of creatures you have. -2, making a Johnny's Pride Mate. Yeah, that's pretty good. We want to deal damage here because it's worth... A card draw is worth more than dealing one here, in my opinion. And seeing their hand is going to be pretty nice. Okay, so they have Elixir. Wandering Emperor is good to know about. Destroy target tracking. Okay, board wipe. Okay, not bad. I think we can handle that. We have not played a spell this turn, so we can double spell. We could go Fires into Mila, but it's probably better off to wait. Let's go ahead and play Fires. And then I think we just end our turn and chill right here from now. Next turn is going to be the awkward turn. Turn 5, we don't have a lot of plays, but turn 6, we get some options. We can actually play the Shark Typhoon and Luca. That gets pretty nuts. It might also be correct to make... Oh, yeah, this is nice, too. Actually, it might Elspeth here. This is the other nice part about Raven's Warning. Okay, so we don't want to search for that. We could exile a Johnny, which seems good. Could also Memory Deluge, which is pretty good. This brings back a 2-mana permanent, which could be nothing. Okay, let's take Elspeth Conquers Death. That also gets to return something from the graveyard. I think a Johnny is a pretty big threat. That just goes on top of our library, though, sadly. I mean, we can do this for full value. We can do this for full value. And then see what we draw, and then play what we draw. A lot of options here. You know what? I think we just wait for the Shark Typhoon next turn, and then play a Luca on top of it, get a 6/6. We'll deal 1 free damage right here for fun. And then I think we're kind of fine. They're going to gain some life and do some shenanigans. Probably make another Pride Mate, but if he makes another Pride Mate, we get to kill this next turn. So I'm kind of feeling alright. Because we're going to get to, as long as Fire sticks around, we get to Shark Typhoon and Luca next turn, which I think is pretty nuts. And that is a lot of mana getting put into taking care of one little token. Now maybe they are assuming we're playing a Transmogrify deck. That very well could be the case. But we're going to get to do some pretty nuts things here. I think holding off on that last turn and just playing slow was the way to go. So let's put this down. And then we'll Shark Typhoon first for 0 mana. And then we will play Luca for 0 mana, which makes us a 6/6. And then... Now what is the play? Next turn we get to play Agent for free. Okay, so we could... It's a tricky situation. We can discard the Agent to hope that we bring him back next turn with Luca, but we also just get to guaranteed play Agent next turn. I think I want to draw 2 cards and try to play Agent with Luca next turn. I think that gets us the most value if we draw stuff. Okay, drawing 2 lands, not fantastic there, not going to lie. Probably put us in a pretty vulnerable spot. Elspeth can also bring back the agent, which is a nice backup plan. Yeah, see? That was where I probably misplayed there. Probably should have just held the agent in hand and made them wait. Oh boy. Okay. Luckily they can't attack into us really here. So that's good. Okay, that's terrible. And the first strike, that is obscene. I guess we gotta let that happen. I feel like we can't give up our Sharky boy here. Man, that is absolutely brutal. Okay, I probably made too big a mistake to come back from that, really, I feel like. And we don't get to draw any cards now. Jeez. I guess the bigger problem is a Johnny at the moment. But discarding that agent into no value is just going to be the L. It's just going to be the L for me. This is not my day. This deck really works, I promise. It's much better than the showing it's having. I won like 6 games in a row before I recorded, of course. Okay, we're going to have to sack the small shark to that guy. We could claw our way out if we can bring the agent back and get one of these guys on our side. Or even getting a Cosmos Elixir is pretty funny. That could be good too. I mean, we do have options if we can claw out. Yeah, that's bad. That'll about put us through. Yeah, because now I have to block here. Yeah, I don't know what we could draw to get out of this. Something that gets us 2 agents somehow. And that's not gonna do it. Bummer. Alright, another L. Shoot. Well, I guess they still have to gain a life. They're gonna guaranteed... I don't know if they have a guaranteed way to gain life yet. We'll make them play one more. But man, drawing too many lands. That's brutal. Got the flood and made a misplay on the agent. Should have kept the agent in hand. Should have known they would have had removal. What a dummy. Ah, yeah, that'll do it too, huh?
Your training.
That'll do it. And we can't play instant speed anyway. Alright, see you in the next one. Bummer. Well, I'm feeling like this is playable. At minimum, we can turn to cycle the Shark Typhoon just for a cycle. We also have that Unlicensed Hearse. It looks like we're playing some graveyard shenanigans. So we'll go ahead and save ourselves the 2 life, and I think this is okay. Blue-white, another white, could be control. Okay, I haven't really seen anyone play this, so this is a bit of a brew here we're going up against. I do think the Modern Age is kind of interesting. It's effectively a 2-mana 2/3 that cycles you 2. Okay, I do like to see that. I think I really like what the turn 2 Birth of Meletis sets up, guarantees us turn 4 land on curve, gets us a nice body as a blocker, and then from there we just get to keep rolling. So Raven's Warning turn 2 should be nice, except that this is a blocker, so that's pretty obnoxious. So maybe we play an Arbiter. We'll see what it looks like based on what they play. Okay, Chart a Course. So this might be a deck for Unlicensed Hearse. They might be wanting... Okay, so this is an Unlicensed Hearse moment for sure. Because they're going to try to play a Greasefang. Unlicensed Hearse is going to absolutely wreck this person here. So this is fantastic. We'll get our Hearse down. Next turn we get to double spell with that Invention. And we are just feeling absolutely fantastic now. So this is a Greasefang build for sure. And drawing the Hearse against Greasefang feels so, so good. Okay, Rafine. Sure, and they're going to have to discard another card if they attack here, which they probably will. And we're going to wait and get as much value as possible out of our Hearse. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and hit this, and we will get rid of 1 Parhelion, and we'll just go ahead and hit a Chart a Course. Lovely. Now the play is Fires, and then we can either go with a Raven's Warning or an Arbiter. Either way, neither of this card deals a ton for us. This puts something on the top of the library later, though. So we'll go ahead and go for that. And then we're just chilling here. They're in a really uncomfortable spot with this Hearse, unless they've got something for it. Now, Rafine alone is going to do a lot of work for them. So that is probably really their game plan now. Yeah, that makes sense. I think we'll let this attack go through. Especially since we might get to put down another Raven and then deal damage with this Raven. That could be good. That could be cool. Okay, that's fine. No blocks for now. We'll see if they're interested in putting anything else in the yard. Sure. That's sad, but I think it's fine. We'll probably pick the Agent. I would really like to Raven's Warning and Grand Arbiter this next turn. I think is nice. But they may stop us from doing that. We'll see. I'm not sure what they're going to want to get rid of here. Okay, they do pick Raven's Warning. I think that's smart of them, because us double spelling next turn was going to be pretty solid value, really. We'll go ahead and toss this and that. Lovely. I think Fable feels pretty good here. First, let's see what else they have in their hand and draw us a card. Probably should have played Dovin first to get him an extra loyalty, but that's okay. We'll survive. Drawing a card, we might draw something else we want to play instead. Okay, lovely. Be nice to know what they have in hand. That'll be cool. Okay, Greasefang and Parhelion. So they are playing around big time. Playing around our cards. Let's definitely Fable. And probably Birth of Meletis. Yeah, guarantee set up that turn 5. Or set up that 5th land will be great. Excellent. And then potentially next turn drawing a land feels awesome. Perfect. Okay, love it. Yeah, we really just have to watch out for Rafine at this point, which if we can steal that Rafine, we're probably going to lock down the game. Okay. There's Greasefang. I don't see how they're able to get this in the yard without us responding to it, though. Perfect, and then we just get rid of it. Man, Unlicensed Hearse is so good in this case. Because they have to wait till a whole combat phase to get their thing to happen. Now, the question is, do I risk missing 6 land drop, or do I cycle away this Typhoon? Because it would feel great to get the Typhoon out, but I also could miss the land. That's a tough choice. Next turn, though, we are going to get to discard cards and draw to kind of set up that. So we're going to hold on to the Typhoon, I think. Well, you know what? Typhoon can block and kill that. I'm willing to do that. If they don't put the triggers on the glider, I'm willing to put the... Okay, perfect. I am willing to trade that then. And it'll draw us another card, which gives us a higher chance of hitting a land. So that's nice. And then we get to hit the glider because they put all the counters on Rafine. Another agent I don't think is great. But then putting everything on Rafine is nice because then if we do get to the point we snatch it, that's going to feel pretty awesome, I think. Okay, and then we get to take this, turning off one of their blockers. Lovely. We still do have a flying blocker when we need it if this Rafine gets too big. That's totally fine. Not too worried about that. We have so far exiled 2 Parhelions. So that's perfect. Another Fires doesn't help us at all. Luckily, we get to discard that. I think in this case... I think it's what I'm willing to Elspeth Conquers Death, their Greasefang. So I'll put that on top. And then I'm going to discard an agent to come back with this Elspeth Conquers Death. I don't even need to put that in like that. So we are going to... Does it matter what order? We're going to do this first, pay with alternate cost, and actually it might be better to just hit Rafine. I mean, they can't put anything... They're not really doing much with Greasefang anyway. So we're going to hit Rafine, and we'll pay the extra. We don't mind. We've got all the mana in the world. Lovely. That's gone. And then we get to put in this for free.
There's no account.
And then we're going to get Dovin nice and big here.
Will hold.
And I think we have really stabilized this game. Excellent. Probably could have ramped up the hearse, but I want to be careful that just in case they do find another Parhelion, we're going to get rid of that thing. Excellent. We can still make this a blocker too, and it can still block and then also do the exile thing. It'll be a 6/6 blocker, which is amazing. I'm feeling great. Another land, and we are in an even better spot because we get to play the agent. Next turn. Yeah, we won't be able to turn on anything quite yet, but as long as we hit land number 7, we're good. A lot of good options for us, really. Okay, let's see what they're trying to do. I mean, if he wants to attack with this, we will gladly kill it. I don't think he's ready for this. He could have a kill spell. I think, you know what? I think we're better off leaving this back here because if it becomes a creature, it's a lot more vulnerable. But I am willing to do this. And I am willing to trade that. That's not doing much for us. We'll get a good block out of it. And I considered blocking there, but I think if we make this vulnerable to a creature kill spell, then we are opening them up to their actual game plan again. And I just don't think we need to do that right now. I don't. I think this is a better play. Lovely. Okay. This is perfect. This we'll put down for free, and then that turns on agent, and then we're really rolling. Yeah, this is going to be a great little nifty turn. I think this will probably seal up the game for us. Okay, they might have already given up even. They might have left. Well, I see them hovering over stuff. Not sure what they're thinking about. They have a lot of mana to work with. Okay, I was going to say, I bet they're trying to do something here. They definitely should have hit the agent, though. Oh, but they couldn't hit the agent if they wanted to draw a card, so I think they were just digging. And they were wanting... I see. Now they're wanting to do that before it gets more expensive. So that's great. Okay, this works out. Because this is going to draw us a land, which gets us to 7, which plays the agent, which deals the Grease Fang. And then Dovin gets to get Gigantonormous. And it's going to be great. Good things all around. Grab this Plains, play this Plains, play this Agent. I don't see how they come back from this. Awesome. We'll borrow that. And then we get to just steal one thing a turn with Reflection as long as that stays out. It's plus this. And then swing with the house.
Constantly seek to innovate.
Perfect. Love it. Awesome. Okay, what say you, Sonidad? Okay, they do have another Grease Fang. Nothing to turn on with it right now. It's fine. Just in case they have another way to discard, we're going to hold off until they try to go to their combat phase. Because they have mana to work with, and they can discard here, so if they have another one in hand, we have to wait till they say they're declaring to go to the attack phase. We're not going to pass you to combat. We're first going to exile that target you had, and this card that you're trying to play as well. Sorry, friend. Can't let you do that. Unless they have a counter-triggered ability. Ooh, they do get around it. Very nice. Very nice. They did. They had to have both, but they pulled it off. They pulled it off. All of our... We might be dead. How much damage do they get to do here? 5, 9, 13. Wow. We are going to live. It's impressive. That was impressive. They pulled off the perfect little combo. But I think we still get to live, and I think we still get to win. Probably. I mean, they do need to seriously consider hitting Dovin because we get to play whatever 2 spells we find for free. So they might even have to hit Dovin here. And we get to bring back an agent for free. So we're going to get to double agent next turn. I think we're fine. Because they're going to deal 13. Unless they've got a sneaky way to push through 2 extra damage. They might send an angel or 2 over here. We'll see. Okay. I think we also just have enough damage. Well, they get their 2 angels. But we're going to steal both of their angels, actually. And then swing in. And that'll be the win. Okay. Okay. Here's the play. I think we're fine. We get to bring back this agent. And steal this agent, or this angel. And then we get to Reflection to make another agent. To steal this angel, which is enough damage on board. And then we would also get to do Dovin. So that was cool. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me for this video. If you're enjoying the Explorer content, please hit that subscribe button. But above all else, have a wonderful day, my friend.